Beyond the gates, Nicole pulls a UNO reverse, but Carlton makes a quick recovery. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. On Beyond the Gates, Carlton went over to Nicole's house to apologize again for his behavior at the hospital. Nicole pulled an UNO reverse, but Smooth Carlton still had a card to play. Carlton salvages his pride on Beyond the Gates. The scene at the hospital was certainly a sight to see. However, I still stand with Ted, Keith D. Robinson, here. Yeah, I know that's probably going to be an unpopular opinion on account of the cheating and the recent thing with Leslie, Trisha Mangrant, but that awful debacle wasn't on him. That was created and scripted exactly the way Nicole, Daphne Duplex, wanted it to go down. She knew how to barb Ted, and as a world-renowned psychiatrist, she knew that Carlton Robert Christopher Riley would respond in kind to defend his lady. But what Carlton did not expect was that he would be blamed for it. Nicole's apparent disdain was all over her face when she called Ted and Carlton cavemen, but really? Simon, Nicole, you goaded Ted perfectly and manipulated that whole situation. Carlton was horrified that he had embarrassed Nicole and tried to apologize, but Nicole stuck that chin in the air and strode out of the hospital, announcing that their dinner date was no longer on. Carlton earned a lot of respect. Now, I'm still not exactly happy with Carlton moving on his friend's ex-wife so fast, and without a conversation with Ted first, bro code, but he went around to Nicole's house, and despite the best effort from the gatekeeper Wanda, he got an audience with the Queen. Carlton apologized again for the scene and his part in it. He acknowledged what he did, how it happened, and he wasn't proud of how he acted. That took integrity, and Carlton, you did right. Then Nicole pulled her UNO reverse card, told him she wasn't in a position to move on with anyone, and called the whole thing off. That was a lot for Carlton to digest, and they talked, and Nicole admitted she still had feelings for Ted. But she wasn't still in love with him. She just didn't know who she was on her own. You're the same Nicole, just you no longer have a man to emasculate. Cool. Can we proceed now? Carlton, you're one smooth dude. You took all that and then with your velvet tongue switched it up. He told Nicole, I've admired you from a distance for more years than I'd like to admit, and I don't mind waiting a bit longer. All this as he moved closer, and then, just as we knew they would, they kissed, a proper long kiss, and that might just have saved your day, Carlton. The latest episode of Beyond the Gates delivered a twist so slick, so delightfully manipulative, that fans are still buzzing about it online. Nicole, once seen as the emotional centerpiece of the show, the calm voice in a storm of chaos, proved that she's just as capable of playing the game as anyone else in Briarwood. But before viewers could finish applauding her bold UNO reverse moment, Carlton swooped in with a move of his own that might just turn the tables all over again. This episode was everything Beyond the Gates fans crave: power plays, emotional manipulation, quiet revenge, and that haunting tension that lingers long after the credits roll. The episode opened with a deceptively calm breakfast scene, sunlight streaming through the glass windows, the smell of fresh coffee, and Nicole sitting opposite Carlton, who looked smug, relaxed, and convinced he had the upper hand. Their relationship has always been a fascinating study in control. For months, Carlton has played the puppeteer, subtly undermining Nicole's confidence, feeding her half-truths, and making her believe she owed him gratitude for his so-called support. But this time, Nicole wasn't playing the same game. She was rewriting the rules. Her smile never wavered, her tone was steady, and every word out of her mouth was measured to perfection. When Carlton leaned in to deliver yet another lecture about loyalty and timing, Nicole simply nodded, then dropped her bombshell. The deal he thought he had secured? Already canceled. The meeting he believed she was too naive to understand. She had attended it days earlier, sealing a new arrangement that left him completely out of the loop. It was the kind of television moment that makes fans sit upright, eyes wide, as the power dynamic flips in real time. Nicole had pulled an UNO reverse, not just in business terms, but emotionally. The entire time Carlton believed he was manipulating her, she was quietly documenting his moves, learning his tactics, and waiting for the exact right moment to strike. When she finally did, it was surgical. She didn't raise her voice, didn't gloat, didn't even give him the satisfaction of anger. She simply laid out the facts like cards on the table, each one a reminder that she was done being underestimated. Carlton's reaction was priceless. His smug composure faltered, the mask cracked, and for the first time, the audience saw a genuine panic flicker across his face. The control he thought was unshakable had been yanked away, and he had no idea how to respond. But in true Beyond the Gates fashion, the story didn't stop there, because Carlton never stays down for long. The second half of the episode shifted tone dramatically. Carlton's recovery wasn't just fast, it was cunning. He didn't retaliate with open hostility. That's not his style. Instead, he went underground, quietly setting his own counterplay in motion. While Nicole celebrated her victory with friends and allies who praised her newfound boldness, Carlton retreated to his office, where he made one phone call that changed everything. To whom? That's still a mystery, but fans are already speculating that it's someone with deep connections to both Nicole and her deal. The writers have always portrayed Carlton as a master manipulator who thrives on anticipation, and this was no different. His calm after the storm was almost unsettling. By the time the final act rolled around, his expression had shifted from panic to quiet confidence, the kind that signals he's about to turn the entire situation around. Meanwhile, Nicole's storyline took on a triumphant yet uneasy tone. Though she had scored a massive win, something about her demeanor suggested she knew the victory wouldn't last forever. As she looked out over the Briarwood skyline, the camera lingered on her reflection, confident but wary, powerful yet shadowed by doubt. There's always a cost to power in Beyond the Gates, and Nicole may have just discovered hers. What made this episode so gripping wasn't just the reversal itself, but the emotional layers behind it. Nicole's move wasn't about ego or revenge. It was about reclaiming control over her own narrative. For too long, she's been defined by the men around her, treated like a supporting player in their stories. This was her declaration that she's done being sidelined. The dialogue between her and Carlton in their final confrontation encapsulated everything that makes Beyond the Gates such a captivating series, sharp, witty, and laced with double meanings. When Carlton sarcastically remarked, "So this is how you win," Nicole's quiet reply, "No, this is how I stop losing," hit like a thunderclap. It wasn't just a mic drop moment, it was a turning point for her entire character arc. But even as fans cheered, the show's closing moments made one thing clear: Carlton isn't going anywhere. In a move worthy of his cunning reputation, he managed to intercept one of Nicole's key allies before the episode ended. The scene was brief but powerful, a quiet conversation in the shadows, a handshake that hinted at betrayal. Whatever he's planning next, it's personal, and it's aimed directly at Nicole's newfound power. The tension between these two characters has never been higher. What began as mutual attraction and strategic cooperation has evolved into a full-blown psychological battle, with each trying to outsmart the other. Nicole's UNO reverse might have worked brilliantly for one round, but Carlton's quick recovery ensures the game is far from over. The stakes are rising, the alliance is shifting, and the line between trust and manipulation is disappearing fast. What makes this dynamic so addictive is that both characters are right in their own way. Nicole is justified in standing up for herself after being manipulated for so long, while Carlton's refusal to stay down makes him an unstoppable force in the narrative. It's not just a battle of strategy, it's a battle of wills, and neither is ready to lose. The episode's final scene perfectly captured that duality. Nicole, standing alone in her apartment, receives a mysterious text message that reads simply, "Nice move, my turn." The camera pans to her face, a mixture of fear and satisfaction, before fading to black. Carlton's voiceover echoes through the closing credits, calm and menacing. "Power isn't something you win, it's something you keep." Fans immediately flooded social media, hailing the episode as one of the most thrilling of the season. Hashtags like hashtag Nicole reverse card and hashtag Carlton comeback started trending within minutes of the broadcast. Some viewers praised Nicole's rise as a long overdue moment of empowerment, while others couldn't help but admire Carlton's resilience. One fan summed it up best: "Nicole may have flipped the cards, but Carlton's already reshuffling the deck." The writers of Beyond the Gates have once again proven their mastery of slow burn tension and character-driven drama. Every scene, every line, and every glance was loaded with meaning, building toward a power shift that felt earned, not forced. The chemistry between Nicole and Carlton remains electric.